Good afternoon, guys. It's Working, bringing you a quick update on Bitcoin. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. I do apologize, guys. I haven't been updating you guys in a little over a week now. I think it's been a kind of a long week for us. We're working on a project down south at our place down here. So anyway, guys, but I do want to get you updated here, let you know what's going on with the market, and it's really been a sideways market. We really have flattened out. I've shown you guys numerous times that bigger picture. We're looking at the daily here. This is BTC US dollar one-day chart on Coinbase. And if we look back here, guys, as I've showed you many times, I don't have the arrows up here, but I've showed you that every time we've rallied here, the rally's been weaker and weaker and weaker. Obviously, we're getting smaller and smaller, trading within a tighter and tighter range until we get to the point to where we're just flatlining. And that's where we're at now, guys, where the price is literally just flatlining. I told you in my last update, they're running out of guppies. In other words, they're running out of people. Market makers are running up price, selling the price at the top. Guppies end up freaking out, losing all their money, comes all the way back down. Market makers scoop it up again at the bottom, and they just repeat. And they just keep taking the guppies' money. But every time you do that, there's less and less suckers to take money from until eventually you've got price just moving sideways, price just flatlining, and that's what we're seeing now. And if we look up here, guys, and we go over the bigger picture, as I showed you guys, if we look at this bigger picture, we haven't seen sideways movement like this in all of 2018. It's always been either straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, etc., 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 until eventually we're literally just moving sideways here. So we're entering into a new trend. Now that new trend might just be a complete fall off of price down to that $4,000, $3,000 level that some analysts have been calling for, or we may have bottomed out and we're just going to start exploding from here. And it's really kind of a game of chicken to see who blinks first before we get some kind of bullish news that eventually will, in my opinion, bring price skyrocketing up. ETF approval, some kind of mass adoption by Amazon, some kind of bullish news that I believe is going to be coming. Yeah, probably early 2019. Who knows? But if we get some kind of speculation, I know the SEC just released a little bit of details of some kind of closed door meeting they had with those that are looking for FTC or sorry, not FTC. The SEC, guys, just released a little bit of information of a closed door meeting they had with those wanting ETF approval. And so some people are viewing that as bullish. Some people are viewing that as maybe we'll get approval of ETFs prior to 2018 expiring. Who knows? We'll see. But we're going to find out soon enough who's going to win here and who's more persevere, or who's going to persevere, the bulls or the bears. Right now, we're trading within a complete sideways range. We did get price come down. This is on Coinbase. Obviously, we had some crazy news with Tether. People got scared. That caused the sell-off of Tether into Bitcoin, which caused this prior rise here. Came up as high as about 6,800 on Coinbase. Went much higher on Bitfinex and other Tether exchanges, but I'm kind of disregarding those exchanges for now. And so what we've got, guys, is just this sideways, the price trading right back within this range. This range being somewhere between 65.40 and 62.35. We look back here on volume profile. We can see volume profile shows that range as well. The majority of trading taking place in that area. We can see the point of control sits right here at about 6450, 6500, somewhere thereabouts, which is about exactly where we are. And that's, in my opinion, that's not going to last much longer. I do think that's going to end up breaking, as I said, could be to the up or downside, and we're going to have to wait and see. What I'm going to be watching here, guys, obviously price came up, came back down, started consolidating sideways right on top of the 63.60 support. I'm going to be watching this zone here. It's kind of getting consolidating here, lower highs, higher lows. And of course, anytime we see that, we expect a larger move, a little bit of a breakout, even though this is a rather small little wedge that we're creating here. I would expect a larger breakout here very soon, possibly coming up, hitting 65.40 only to hit that support, or excuse me, that resistance, come right back down, call that a bull trap, or coming back down, hitting 62.35, only to reverse course and come right back up. I'm going to be watching this range right up here. It's the big support area, or excuse me, resistance area right up here. Guys, this is where I would expect price possibly, if it's going to turn around, to come up, possibly hit this area and turn right back around. If we can get above 67.50 and start consolidating above there, certainly if we can break 6,800, which was this prior high, and create a new high, that's going to be, obviously, guys, that would possibly be the start, or signal the start of a new trend, of a new uptrend. Conversely, we set a low down here, sitting at about on Coinbase at about $6,040, somewhere thereabouts. If we break that low, that would also set a possible new trend, possibly coming back to new 2018 lows very, very quickly, if that does end up happening. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just saying that's the range that I'm watching. Until we do break one of those guys, if you're looking to make money in this market, I would just keep trading that range. In other words, what am I doing? I'd be placing buy orders sitting here somewhere between 62.35 and 61.15, and I'd be placing sell orders somewhere up here between 65.40 and 67.50. That's the range that I'd be watching. Anything kind of between 62.35 and 65.40 is kind of going to be a gamble. But if you can get a buy 65.40 and above to 67.50 without it breaking above that, seems like a good. Or if you can, excuse me, if you're wanting to short the market, and you can enter a short between 65.40, 67.50. Probability wise, it looks like trading within that range. We're going to come back down. You can probably make a little money. If you're looking to buy, obviously between 62.35, 61.15 would be a decent buy, expecting to come up and selling anywhere above 63.60. In my opinion, guys, that's just kind of the range that we're trading in right now. And if you're wanting to make money, little scalp trades here and there, guys, playing that little game until we do get a new, and I always have a very tight stop loss, until we get a new trend set, guys, that's the only way to make money in this market. Now, if that's a risky play, obviously, personally, I would, if you're not comfortable with swing trading and or day trading, I would just hands off until we do get a new pattern established. Now, if we come over here and we look at our long positions, longs have slowly started to rise in the last, let's say, the last 2-3 days or so. They're currently rising almost in a straight line here. That being said, shorts still far outweigh long positions. If we zoom out here, we can see shorts are still relatively stacked, even though if we zoom in over the last, say, week or so, shorts have fallen off the board quite a bit. Almost coming back down to the prior low, not quite, and in the last day they've slowly started to tick up here, kind of moving sideways now. So let's wait to see kind of how this ends up playing out. But right now, shorts are still outpacing longs rather significantly, which tells me that market makers have a little bit of incentive to bring price up, to liquidate the shorts. The problem is, unlike before, you'd have to really bring price up or really bring price down to liquidate long or shorts respectively. Now, the market maker, or excuse me, retail investors are getting much smarter. In other words, they're taking profits very quickly. In other words, if they enter into a long position down here, they're taking profits pretty quickly. As soon as price gets above 6,400, somewhere thereabouts, they're starting to take profits off the table. Whereas before, they would hold it, expecting this long-term bull run. Now retail is turning into more day traders, to where when price goes up, hits about 67.50, they're shorting the market, but then they're taking the profits on those shorts as soon as it breaks 65.40 all the way down to about 62.35. They're slowly taking profits instead of just holding it, expecting it to go down to 3,000. It's also true with longs, as I just said. Longs entering these long positions, but they're getting out of those long positions, accepting just a 2-3% gain or less on their positions. So this is why it's so hard now for market makers to make any money. They can't just run price up, because everybody's getting, as soon as they start bringing price up, those stop losses are getting triggered very quickly with shorts. But also those long positions are also triggering those longs. So they're not really so they're not stacking those long positions like they used to. Long positions are getting in and getting right out. Short positions are doing the same, getting in and getting right out. And if they get stopped out, they get stopped out. So in other words, they're getting smarter. So that knowledge gap between market makers and retail is getting smaller and smaller, which is why you're seeing this range get smaller and smaller, which is why we're flatlining, which is why we need new money to enter this market if we're going to have any kind of a bull run. If this thing just starts flatlining sideways for an extended period of time, my fear, without any kind of bullish news to bring price up, And if we come over here and we look at our Bitcoin volume sitting at only about 3.3 billion for the day, it hasn't broken 4 billion for quite some time. Let's see, it was on the 17th was the last time it broke 4 billion. It just barely broke 4 billion. And then of course on the 15th we had that massive spike in volume. Only lasted a day, dropped right back down. Prior to that, we're looking at 3 billion. Every now and then we'll get a little spike, but the bottom line is the volume is extremely weak right now on Bitcoin and throughout the market. And without a spike in volume, without the daily volume being above 8 to 10 billion on a consistent basis, on a daily consistent basis on Bitcoin above 8 to 10 billion, then we know new money is not entering the market. And without new money entering this market, guys, then there's just no way we can have a sustainable bull run. We look at our look at our RSI here on the daily. We can see it's just basically moving sideways, sitting at about 50, a very, very neutral RSI. If we come over here and we look at the weekly RSI, I'm going to come and zoom in here on the weekly. We can see this weekly RSI, this is on Coinbase, goes all the way back to early March of 2015, so early 2015. And we can see that we've never had the weekly RSI just kind of flatlining within a range like we're seeing here. We're seeing it just kind of move sideways, get squeezed tighter and tighter until eventually it looks like it's just flatlining. And if we just draw kind of a little wedge pattern here, we can see that it's kind of just consolidating, getting squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter within this wedge on the daily. This suggests, again, obviously flatlining in price, but it also suggests that we may get a major move up or down very, very, very soon. If we just look at the weekly RSI here, that's obviously what we're seeing. And if we come over here and we look at the moving average, we look at our moving averages. This is on the 4-day. We can see that we're trading within a tight range. We can see the Bollinger Bands have gotten squeezed, so we're certainly getting bottlenecked here, which also suggests we can see that the 8, 21, and 55-day EMA are all converging on each other. The 50-day EMA are converging on those, and that also suggests we may see a larger move here very, very soon. If we come over here and we look at the daily, we can see the daily price is just getting above. I'm kind of zooming here a little more so you guys can see a little better. We can see that price just broke above the 21-day EMA, got pushed right back down. So that 21-day EMA is acting as a fairly strong resistance right now. If we can break above the 21-day EMA on the daily, as I tell you guys many, many times, that 21-day EMA is very relevant. If you're sitting below it and you finally break above it decisively, by decisively, if we can get a one-day candle opening and closing above this 21-day EMA, that's going to be an extremely bullish sign and oftentimes signals a shift in momentum. Opposite is also true if you're above and break below. That signals a shift in momentum towards the bears. However, we've been trading below this 21-day EMA since October the 18th. So a break above it decisively, not by a wick, but again, decisively, if we can get a daily candle that closes above this 21-day EMA, opens and then closes again, that's going to be an extremely bullish sign, could signal a possible trend reversal, a possible a possible momentum shift in favor of the bulls, I should say. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. Basically, what we're watching for is we're watching to see if price can finally break out of this range that it's just trading in here. If we can create a higher high sitting at above, as I said, so if we can get up above 68.50, that's going to, in my opinion, that's going to be extremely significant and could signal a major shift in momentum. And to the downside, we're watching price to see if we can break below about 66,040. That was the low of this wick. If we break below that, that would finally create a lower low and could signal a possible snowball effect to the downside. Price coming back down, at least testing these 5,900 to 5,775, possibly coming down into this range as low as 5,500. And we'll have to wait and see how it reacts if we get into that area. If we get a major, if it hits that area with a very strong bounce, obviously it's going to be extremely bullish. If we just start consolidating in this area, that's going to be extremely bearish, guys, and could signal a possible, if we just can start consolidating sideways in this area, could signal a possible complete drop off here. So we'll just have to wait and see how price reacts if and when it does get to one of those areas. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, I would appreciate an upvote if you have enjoyed this content. Until next time, guys, please trade safe, take care of yourselves. This is Working, signing out.